What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jenks Lamer podcast. It is week 17, 2 more weeks of the NFL season, regular season, and then it's over. Playoffs. Pretty crazy. Time flies. Wasn't here last week in Florida. A little vacation, seeing my buddy. Cloudy the entire time, so I'm still pale, as you could see. Kind of stinks. But we got a good episode for you guys today. We're going to be breaking down our top three, Jenks' top three, my top three, MVP candidates, who we think is going to win it, why, the numbers, all that coming up. And then, of course, we're going to be giving you guys our Week 17 predictions. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Here we go!
All right, guys, getting right into our top three MVP candidates for the NFL season. So I'm going to start with my number three. Henry's going to go his number three, and then we're going to go back and forth all the way down to one. So number three, I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. Right now, he's the best receiver in the league, numbers-wise, as well as just on the field. He's unguardable right now. He has 1,600 yards as well as 12 touchdowns. The last couple weeks, he's slowed down a little bit. You've seen it. Like last week, kind of needed him in the playoffs in my dynasty league, and he let me down, if I'm being honest. But not the end of the world. I think he might be able to get 1,800 yards, but that 2,000-yard season, it's gone after a few down weeks, as well as being out
a week.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think he is a number three guy at the MVP level. I think he has a shot with all the quarterbacks kind of stinging it up this year. Hammer, what do you think?
Yeah, so, me and Jenks did not share our top three candidates before this, so I think we're going to go a different route here. All my guys are QBs just because this is a QB.
Oh,
Yeah, because this is
no,
I'm just
can't.
going off of history. This is a QB award. That's who's going to win it. And I think a month ago, you had three guys in mind: Dak, Purdy, maybe McCaffrey, and Tyreek. Those are the top three. But since then, Dak's had a couple of bad weeks, and Tyreek's been out, and he's been a little iffy. You know what I mean? He hasn't been getting the yards that he's used to. McCaffrey and Purdy coming off a tough loss. Yeah. But for me, I've no McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill in my top three just because it's not a running back or wide receiver award. That's offensive player of the year. So
It can be, Hammer. That's the problem. It can be. So who's your number three then? Who's your number three?
I think you're gonna like this. My number three is Josh Allen.
Okay. That's okay.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got Josh Allen. Buffalo is playing really good football. They're getting hot. Just beat Dallas. It was a big time win, the other week. But they're getting hot. They're feeling it. He's put up pretty damn good numbers. He's up there with the passing leaders at 3,778 passing yards, 40 total touchdowns, 27 of them are passing. So he's leading the league in total touchdowns, and they're hot. And, they still have a chance to, I make the playoffs. I don't know if they can I think they still do. I think they have a chance to win the division, right? Yeah.
If the Dolphins lose this week, then next week's for the title. And the Bills have to win this week, of course. But
yeah. And, Miami's got that tough matchup in Baltimore. It's probably the best team in the league right now. But hey, everything is still up in front, still in front of them. Super Bowl, division, this and that, playoffs. So if they make the playoffs, even if they win the division and he keeps on putting up these numbers and these touchdowns, I think Josh Allen he's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you're doing. I like what you're saying with that. He was actually my number two. And stat, he was my number two. One quick stat I'm going to put out there.
Here's my thing. I'm end with this. This is my one and my two, and then it's like a drop down to Josh Allen. Just because it was a shaky year in the beginning and the middle. They lost a lot of games. He does throw a lot of picks. The turnovers are up. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to put that out there. So for you to say it's two, I think that's like high. So I have him at three, but he's like tier two.
Here's my thing. He is the most valuable quarterback for a team right now in the NFL. And here's why. Here's why. He's accounted for 40 of 48 touchdowns the Bills have scored. 40 of 48. So only 8 touchdowns have been without Josh Allen. So if you put that in numbers outside of that, like other teams, these other quarterbacks having 30 touchdowns tops, most of them, And so you're taking the ball out of the quarterback's hands for most of these other teams. So that's why I feel like Josh Allen right now, I'm not saying necessarily he's the best quarterback skill-wise, but
Yeah, he's valuable to the team. I get that.
value to the team right now,
Like
Josh Allen is the highest.
like Jordan Love. No,
Yeah.
no,
No. Get out of here with that. Get
he's
out
up
of
there
no.
though. No, he's
No,
valuable
he's
to the
not.
Packers. But I'm going to tell you why my guy is more valuable. He's why my number one is the most valuable
Wait, give me number 2. Who's your
quarterback.
number 2?
My number two is Brock Purdy.
Oh, 4 picks.
So I was in between two,
No.
Purdy and Tua, but I'm not going to give it a Tua just because the weapons and his numbers they don't blow you away. But hey, Miami's got a chance for the number one seed. I don't think they can get it. I think Baltimore's going to keep it. So Tua, not really. Tua's top 5 for me, kind of 4 or 5. So my number 2 is Purdy. I say that because he has been in the MVP conversation kind of the whole year, basically. He's been putting up good numbers. His team's the number one seed in the NFL. He's beaten Dallas. He's beaten Philly. Yeah, last week sucked. Everyone has those games. But I think when you still look at his numbers, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks, I think he's almost at 70% completion rate. I think when you look at that, put them all together, I think that's pretty impressive. And yeah, his team's number one seed still. I think you got to put Purdy up there. As
Okay,
much as I don't want to say it because I hear it every day from my dad, Purdy this, Purdy that, and I don't want him to win MVP. I don't want the Niners to win the Super Bowl. But like looking at the award, and I'm not giving it to a running back or receiver, it's QBs. And like right now, Purdy's number 2 quarterback that like deserves it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a quick retort. First of all, 4 picks a game. Not everyone does do that. It doesn't happen often. But I will say 2 of them were picked
They were
off of tips.
tips.
So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna blame him for
it
that.
happens.
But what I will say is you talked about his numbers, everything like that.
How
They're
many
inflated.
how many 3 like pick games has Josh Allen had this year?
He's probably had a couple. But at the same time, he has 40
So
touchdowns. And if when Josh Allen's hot, the Bills are doing well. Like he's more valuable to the Bills than Brock Purdy is to the 49ers. You
I
can put in Jimmy
I agree with
G.
that. I agree with that. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying I would put Purdy ahead of him because his team's better. Like
Yeah, but I
like
think
he's
that's
number one seed in his conference. Josh
yeah,
Allen's
but
fighting.
here's the
Hold on,
thing.
hold on. But Purdy's number one seed in his conference. Josh Allen is fighting to make the playoffs because he sucked, and that team sucked so much middle of the year.
Brock Purdy has Debo Samuel, he has Christian McCaffrey, he has Brandon Ayuk, he has George Kittle. He has
I
a
get that. I know that.
loaded offense. It's not like
And and Allen's got Diggs, Gabe Davis, James Cook. He's got some
Gabe
dudes.
Davis
He's
is
got
all right.
Dalton
Yeah, I mean,
Kincaid, good player.
Don Cade's here and there.
Every
He's
but
dropped a
I
couple.
don't
But here's
I
the
don't
thing.
want
Here's the thing. The 49ers, when Debo Samuel and Trent Williams were down, Brock Purdy looked like crap. Like it's you take away a couple pieces and he doesn't look as good. I think Brock Purdy, yes, is good. He's my dynasty quarterback. Like I need him to play well every week. But to say he's an MVP candidate because of his numbers is not something that
I'm
like
not saying his numbers. His numbers are just a factor. He's number one team in the NFC right now.
yeah, but
Like,
because of his team. And so that's why I think
but you could say that about everyone, dude. You can say that
I
about
don't think you
everyone.
could. I don't
You
think you
can
could.
because you can't be like take them off this team and let's see how good they are because
Well,
we don't know. You can't say that about anyone.
Well, I've seen people take up Lamar, right? The people are like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson could be MVP." I don't think he can. He has decent numbers, but his defense is insane. Like the 49ers, that game is won by the Ravens
Lamar's got
defense.
pretty damn good numbers.
He does. I'm not hating on Lamar, but I don't think he's
Decent
an MVP
numbers.
candidate because his defense is so ridiculously good. Teams don't have to come in. He doesn't have to put up huge numbers every week. The
What do you
defense is more
mean? Did
valuable
they just
than
play the
Brock Purdy.
Rams a couple weeks ago and it went to overtime because it was like 37-37?
And it got one on a punt return. Like it's he has these things. Yes, Lamar Jackson is good.
But he's still got to do. All right, he's still got to do his job. And does he have Mark Andrews anymore? Nope. Who's his best receiver? A
Isaiah
rookie?
Likely.
And
He's like
who? And who? A 30-year-old Odell Beckham?
OBJ and Zay Flowers
What
are
running
playing
back?
really
What
well.
running back? What amazing running back?
I would say Lamar. If Lamar Jackson, like when he won in 2018 or 2019, I think it was he won MVP. That was a season. Yeah, he wins MVP because he balled out. This year, he's a little bit under what he's done the last few years, and his defense is so ridiculously good that I don't think he's a top. I'd give him. He's a top 5 candidate. Sure, I have him as my honorable mention. Actually, I have him, Dak Prescott, and as
Like,
well as Matt Stafford as my honorable mentions for
Matt
MVP.
Stafford.
Those are my
All right,
honorable
go.
mentions.
Who's your number
But
one?
But let me get my number one because this is the most valuable player in the NFL right now. Christian McCaffrey, number one, should win MVP 100%. And here's why. I mean, his numbers alone, he's almost at 2,000 yards from scrimmage right now. Let's double check.
Yeah,
He's at
he's at
1,900 something.
yeah.
He has 21 touchdowns total, and he only hasn't scored in 2 games this year. So when
Yeah.
when Christian McCaffrey's doing well, the team's winning. You
Yeah.
give the ball to Christian, they win. Like that, he is the most valuable player in the NFL by far, and he's putting up the numbers to show for it, and they're winning because of him as well. So Christian McCaffrey's the number 1.
Yeah, he's my number 4 just because it's QB.
I mean,
Like,
I
I
get
think
it. I get it. Like,
I think he's gonna get offense player of the year. I would put it's my 1, 2 I got Purdy, 3 I'm going Allen, then 4 McCaffrey, 5 Hill, 6 Tua. Like that's kinda
and something that could be interesting in the NFL rewards this year would be no quarterbacks getting an award, like other than offensive rookie of the year, maybe going to CJ Stroud. But I think Puka Nacua could win that. So you look at it, it could be a non-quarterback sweep. Like it could be
Puka could win it because of CJ Stroud's missed 2-3 games now.
yeah. So I think it could be Christian McCaffrey MVP. Then you got Tyreek Hill offensive player of the year possibly with his stats. And then you look at a guy like Puka Nacua at offensive rookie of the year. So it's definitely an interesting conversation. There's a lot of debates going to be had the last few weeks of the season, depending on performances. But if Christian McCaffrey keeps it up, I think he has to win.
Yeah. I like McCaffrey. I wouldn't. I'm not against it. I'm just like, if I had to put money down, I don't think him or Hill are in the conversation, just because I think they're in the conversation, but I think like a QB is going to win it.
No, I mean, I get it. With the NFL's bias the last few years, it totally makes sense. But
I like it though. I'm happy you did it like this. So then, we could argue.
Yeah,
You got the running back receiver in it, and I got the QBs. It's fine.
Yeah, down year for quarterbacks. I don't think anyone deserves it.
MVP this year is definitely a down year, right? Because you don't have Mahomes, or you don't have Rodgers in throwing 40 touchdown passes. It's a different year. It's wide open. That's why for the longest time, right? It was like Dak was in it, and so it's wide open. Any of these guys could win it. Really, these next 2 weeks are gonna be really important, and I think the big game this weekend that could be an MVP decider is Baltimore and Miami. You got Lamar, and then you got Tyreek Hill, and then even I'm seeing Vegas put 2 up there too with MVPs. You know what I mean? Like I said, so I think this week is a big deciding factor too. Who wins that game? Who plays well? The numbers. So it's gonna be interesting. But my number 1, go.
Yeah, let's hear it. Sorry. Go ahead.
My number 1 is Lamar Jackson. I'm putting Lamar down.
Yeah.
I'm putting Lamar down because I think he's done a lot with the stuff that he hasn't he's done a lot with a little. He doesn't have his number 1.
This year, it's not a little. This year, he has better receivers, and his tight end. Yeah,
Can I finish?
Yeah,
Can I finish though?
Go ahead.
His numbers don't blow you away. They don't blow you away. They're pretty good though. He's been efficient. Almost 800 yards on the ground with 5 touchdowns. But here's the thing: you lose Mark Andrews, your best receiver is a rookie, and 2 of the favorite MVP candidates you just went against on Sunday Night Football, and Purdy and McCaffrey, and you whipped them. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a team game, but like that's a platform, that's a stage where like he won. He was the guy. So it's like that's big time. I know the defense, this and that, but like saying. But I think his team, they're playing well. Number 1 seed in the AFC. Like, I don't know. Right now I have to give it to Lamar.
No, and I don't really mind it. I really don't, because like a quarterback's job is to win games, and that's the end.
And I think, and here's the thing with all the QBs we mentioned, right? Purdy, Allen, Tua,
Josh Allen.
Lamar's got only 7 picks compared to their 10, 11, 15. You know what I mean? Like he's been way more.
9 picks.
He's got 7.
I might have read that wrong, but yeah, here's the thing though. With that being said, those picks don't really. Josh Allen has 16 more touchdowns. 16, like that.
But guess what? Lamar's got the number 1 seed.
It doesn't matter.
It does though. It does matter.
It does matter. It's not him. It's not him. He's not the most valuable person on that team compared to Josh Allen. The defense has helped so much more, and his receivers have helped more. He has better receivers. He has Isaiah. Yeah, Mark Andrews went down, but Isaiah likely goes right back into that role.
You could say that, but then it's like who's most valuable, this and that, which team, this and that. Well, look at the Ravens division. That's a pretty brutal division. I know Josh Allen's.
It
Hold
is.
on. Hold on. Listen, I know Josh Allen's gone against the Jets twice and the Patriots twice.
But both have good defenses. That's their
Oh my
thing, is that
God.
they have good defenses. That's their qualifying trait.
They suck.
And I mean, the AFC North, you could argue, has good defense as well. Like they
Well, they
both
do.
have
They're
good
good teams.
defenses.
All of them are in the playoff picture.
They both have good teams and good defenses.
Oh,
But Josh Allen has 16 more touchdowns. Like, that is absurd.
I get
16
that,
more.
but he's not. But it's numbers and it's how your team's doing. Like I'm just
Yeah,
like
but
let me give you an example. Can I give you an example? Right? Of course I'm gonna talk about Rodgers in 2016. You could talk about Breeze. I'm saying in 2016, Matt Ryan won the MVP. The Falcons were the 2 seed. His numbers were like they were good. His numbers weren't even close to Rodgers, but Rodgers had the 6 seed. Rodgers should have won MVP. You know what? Rodgers was the most valuable player on the team in the league.
Hammer. Go to 2011 when Drew Brees led the highest scoring and highest, most yardage offensive all time.
Exactly. And who'd they give it to? They gave it to Rodgers because his team was better. Yes or no?
But it's irrelevant. That's 10 years ago.
But it's
And
not.
Aaron Rodgers also had
That's
relatively similar.
yeah, but
Aaron Rodgers
that's-
also had relatively similar numbers, though. Like, let's be honest. Like, he did have a
I,
good year. Aaron Rodgers balled
I
out.
know, but I'm saying who they give it to? The guy with the better team.
But
That's
he's
the
still
format of
balled
this.
out.
I know,
Lamar-
Jenks. I'm
Lamar has
not
24
arguing.
touchdowns.
I get that, but his team is better. His team's winning. That's the format. That's how they choose the MVP. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying if I had to pick MVP, it's Lamar Jackson because of this team and this numbers and this and that.
Raheem Mostert has 21 touchdowns, and he's not anywhere near. And he has what, the 2 or 3 seed in the AFC? He's a
That's
running
awesome.
back, but like
But
it's
That's awesome, but he's the quarterback of the number 1 seed in the AFC who
and
just
his defense is more
dominated.
valuable to the team.
Who just dominated the number 1 seed in the NFC. I'm not saying
Because
it's
of their
right or wrong.
defense.
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying that these are facts. Like if you look at the MVP over the past couple of years, it's not the guy with the best numbers. It's the guy who's got good numbers up there and playing on a really good team who's got a top seed. That's
No,
just
and I
facts.
get that. And I get that. But I'm saying this year in particular, I don't think it should be that way, but I see where you're going from. One thing I will say with the
Why this year? What
because
makes
this
it
year all quarterbacks are
different than
playing
other
worse.
years?
All quarterbacks are playing worse, and position players values are going up. Christian McCaffrey is the most valuable player in the league by far. But one thing I will say regarding the MVP trophy in general is we've seen quarterback play. It really shows how valuable that was to quarterbacks. Like 10 years ago, we watched the golden era of quarterbacks in the pocket, just throwing 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns every single year. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. And now you just see quarterbacks scrambling, doing more things. But the yardage is down, touchdowns are down, and I think position players are becoming ever more important than they were in the last years. All right, guys, getting right into our Week 17 picks. So Hammer has lost one more game than I have again this past week. So he's now at 148-92, and I am at 143-97. So only 5 games back compared to 7 games back 2 weeks ago, and I need 5 games in the next 2 weeks to hopefully catch up to him. So this is an interesting week of picks. It's nothing too crazy. There's a couple games that I want to highlight. But other than that, I think we're going to be taking most of the favored games. If anyone's asking why I'm wearing this weird Grinch shirt, adding on to my Fire Pete protest, we got a shirt now as well as a bag. So Saints, just fire them already. All right. Anyways, getting right into game 1. We got Thursday Night Football. You got the Jets taking on the Browns. Man, the Brownies, they're turning into a powerful offense over there. They got Joe Flacco throwing it up to Amari Cooper. And it just goes to show Amari Cooper was never gone. Like Amari Cooper's skill never faded. They have not been giving him the ball. Deshaun Watson came in and stunk. And now you got Joe Flacco coming off the couch for a year, balling out with the Browns offense. I like the Browns in this game. They're going to beat the Jets by maybe a touchdown or 2.
I think they beat the Jets by like 17. Yeah. Joe was playing like 2013 Flacco. That's when they won the Super Bowl. I'm going with the Browns.
Yeah, I like it. And then this is the Saturday night game is probably the game of the week, I believe. So this is going to be Lions versus Cowboys. And the Lions.
Second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that. But they're both very, very, very good games here. So the Lions take on the Cowboys. Cowboys coming off a loss to the Dolphins. Lions just won last week. Lions are looking like they're back. They won the division for the first time in 30 years. So congrats to the Lions. I know it makes Hammer a little bit sick. But my underdog pick of the week here is I'm going to go to the Lions. They're the brand new Lions, people are calling them. The Cowboys are on a cold streak. Their offense is kind of just lacking, and their defense is getting a little bit figured out by these offenses. So I think the Lions go heavy in the run game here, throw the ball a few times to Amon-Ra, and I think they do pretty well, winning by like 3 points.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys bounce back here. Cowboys have a really good passing attack. That's what Detroit kind of struggles with the most. I'm gonna go Dallas in Dallas too. You know they're gonna get some calls. I'm gonna go with the
Jerry's
Cowboys.
world. Yeah, no, I mean, thank God you go. We're switching it up a little bit. Hopefully, I catch up yet again. So next game, you got the Dolphins taking on the Ravens, and man, this is a matchup that a lot of people are going to be watching this week. Even if your team is playing, you might still be tuning into this game, especially if they're out of the playoffs. So the Dolphins, they're going hot, but Tyreek Hill is still a little bit hurt. Like I think he didn't practice today. We're recording this on Wednesday. And then the Ravens, they're playing hot. Like their defense is ridiculously good. They shut down the 49ers, who everyone thought was the best team in the league. And I think the Ravens right now are the best team in the league, undisputed. So I'm going to go the Ravens here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens too. It's tough to pick against them after that week.
Yeah.
Now they're at home, you know, and I think just from like a physicality aspect, just think Baltimore's going to beat them up. I think they're going to be the more physical, dominating team.
Yeah, I like it. I think their defense just shuts down Tua yet again, like they did Brock last week. And one quick thing I'll say, Kurt came out and said Brock Purdy is like Drew Brees 2.0. And man, was he wrong. Like that's just an awful take. Sit your ass down, Kurt. Although I will say this, if you're watching this ever, I want you still on the podcast. It'd be awesome to have you on the podcast. Don't take it too seriously, but don't ever talk about Drew Brees like that again. Brock Purdy will never compare to him. So Ravens win. Yeah, sorry about that. We'll just get off track with the Drew Brees.
Were you just daydreaming of Drew Brees?
I thought Hammer was gonna have like a little bit of a rebuttal there, because anytime I talk about Drew, he gets a little serious. But anyways,
Drew Brees reminds me of Brett Hundley for the Packers. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I thought they was gonna say something like that. Anyways, next game you got the Patriots. The Patriots taking on the Bills. Bills win by a mile here. The Patriots still don't have an offense.
Yeah, Bills win. Not much to say. Domination. Allen maybe jumps his way to number 2 on my MVP list.
Maybe jumps to number 1. This guy should be higher on Hammer's books. So next game you got the Falcons taking on the Bears, who have surprisingly just kind of turned it around. They look like they're finally getting their feet under them with Justin Fields, and it's given a little bit of a reason as to, do they possibly skip out on the quarterback this year and just build around Justin Fields? Is a big discussion. We'll probably talk about that in the next few weeks, but I'm going to take the Bears here, beating the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears too. They're hot. Atlanta had a nice win last week against the Colts, but I'm going to go with the Bears. They're playing really good defense, and they're playing hard for their coach. Yeah, the QB situations can be pretty interesting to jump into this offseason, see what they're going to do with that, number 1 pick, it looks like, from Carolina. But I'm gonna take the Bears here.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. And they should have won 2 weeks ago if the guy caught the Hail Mary. But anyways, next you got the Titans taking on the Texans, rematch from I think a couple weeks ago. And I think the Texans win this game. I think CJ Stroud will possibly be back. He's been in concussion protocol for a long, long time.
Yeah, he's returned. It just looked it up. He's returned the practice this week.
Okay, then yeah. I'm just gonna go Texans here, but the Titans I don't think they have enough yet to beat the Texans.
Yeah, Tennessee was in a tough game with Seattle last week. I was watching that because they need Seattle to lose at least one game. Seattle, the Rams, and Green Bay wins out. We're in the playoffs. Tennessee couldn't hang on though. I'm gonna go with Houston at home. Especially with CJ Stroud back. It's just a completely different team. They have him back. They're playing on a different level, and he's the favorite to win Rookie of the Year when he's playing. So I'm gonna go Texans.
Yeah, I like it. Next, you got the Raiders taking on the Colts. Raiders,
it's a good game.
It's not bad. The Raiders just beat the Chiefs, and they've
been playing good. They just put up 64 points, and then they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. So their offense is feeling it. I mean, their offense wasn't great last week. Let's not like joke ourselves, but they beat the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, and that's not something to be taken lightly, even though the Chiefs are not the same team they have been. On the other side of the ball, you got the Colts with Gardner Minshew, who lost the Falcons. which is a rough look. So this is a tough game for me here, but I think I'm gonna go the Raiders. I like what they're doing on defense. Their offense isn't great, but they're playing for their head coach right now, Antonio Pierce, and I think they're trying to get him back next year. So I'm gonna go the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. I know. Wait, am I going with the Raiders? Let me check my picks. I
Yeah,
think
switch it
I'll
up.
go with.
Switch it up. You know you want to make it interesting. Go the Colts. Go the Colts. Gamble a little bit. Roll some dice here, kid.
You want me to go with the Colts for you?
Go the Colts. Come on.
I'll go with the Colts.
Yeah, you know you want to.
I was gonna talk some good about the Raiders. Now I'll talk some bad. Yeah, dude couldn't complete a pass in 3 quarters. Go with the Colts.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, it's
Easy.
iffy. It's iffy. It's an interesting pick here. All right, so next game you got the battle of the big cats. Should I say small cat taking on a bigger cat? And I mean the Panthers. 2 wins. Maybe they get their third here. The Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has looked awful the last couple games. He just doesn't look like he's living up to the hype this season. Everyone was expecting a big year from him after he played pretty well last year. They led him to the playoffs, and they looked all right. They added Calvin Ridley, and they just have not played up to the level people thought they were. But I'm still going to the Jaguars here. The Panthers still aren't that great.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jags. Panthers are really, really bad. Even though my Packers made Bryce Young look like, deserving that number 1 overall pick. The Jaguars are good. They just haven't found that rhythm, that consistency, and they're still looking for it. But they're going against a pretty bad football team in Carolina at home. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Yeah. So Jaguars take down the Panthers. Next game, you got the Rams taking on the Giants, and Tyrod Taylor's now taking over. The Tommy DeVito era is finally over. The Linsanity run is over for him. You got the Rams, who just made the Saints defense look like Swiss cheese, and the Giants, who have a decent, their defense isn't terrible, but it's not great, and their offense is just kind of Saquon Barkley right now. Tyrod Taylor made a few good throws, but he also made a few pretty bad plays, so I'm not really gonna put it past him. But I think the Rams come out. Matt Stafford balls out. Puka Nacua proves yet again why he should be Offensive Rookie of the Year now that C.J. Stroud's been out a few games. So Rams win.
Go G-men. I need the Giants to win for the Packers to make the playoffs. Not this game necessarily, but it would help go a long way. It would be amazing if the Giants could pull one out. I don't think they will. The Rams are probably the hottest team in the league right now. Puka's playing like Puka's.
Dude, I mean, some of those catches he's making are just ridiculous.
I know, it's unreal. Yeah, they're playing really good football. I didn't think we expected a lot of them coming into the year. But Sean McVay's just the top coach in this league.
Yeah, he's up there.
I'm going with the Rams.
I don't mind it at all. Next game, you got the Cardinals, the Tweety Birds, I like to call them, taking on the Eagles, who the Eagles themselves have also looked not great. I've said it all year. I've said something looks wrong with that offense. People have been hyped, like the first few weeks of the year, people were hyping up the Eagles again. I was like, they don't look like they did the last couple of seasons. Like their offense is not up to snuff. Jalen Hurts he has 14 rushing touchdowns, something like that, but they're all tush pushes, and his passing plays don't look that great. AJ Brown's all right, but he hasn't been playing like he did the first half of the year. So I'm going to take the Eagles here, being the Tweety Birds, but I'm not going to act like it's a big win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles. They haven't looked good all year. Like, they haven't looked great. I know their record's really good, but, they lost a couple games in a row, 3 games in a row. The good thing about the Eagles, though, is the schedule and the way it finishes heading into the playoffs. You get the Giants, you get the Cardinals, and then you get the Giants again. So that's a nice 3-game win streak that they're going to go on heading into the playoffs, and that's what you want heading into the playoffs. You want to be hot, and I think they're going to be hot heading into the playoffs. So give me a win for the Eagles.
Next, you got my Saints with the whole gang: Pete Carmichael, Derek Carr, Dennis Allen.
Derek Carr.
You got him coming into Tampa Bay.
I was at you got that Derek Carr jersey for Christmas, didn't you?
Oh, thank God I didn't know. But dude, I came into this year. Everyone on the podcast knew I was like, oh, Derek Carr's gonna come out, lead us to 13-3. We got the easiest schedule in the damn league. Didn't work.
Who said?
I know. Let me finish my sad little rant real quick. You got the Bucs, who have Baker Mayfield, paid him 1 year, like $10 million, something cheap.
Yeah, prove it year. A bridge player.
Yeah, and he's looked great. And that's what the Saints should have done. Like, Derek Carr, come in 1 year. We'll see if you got it. See if you're able to take us and win us the division. Easiest
Yeah.
division in football. He could not do it.
Yeah.
Buccaneers coming in to this game. Now that if they win this game, they win the division. So Bucs have a lot to play for. I think sadly, they blow out the Saints, and I hope they blow us out. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it sucks. I don't like cheering for losses, but the only way that we're getting rid of any of these coaches are if we finally lose, and it's just done for the year. So Buccaneers win here and beat the Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucs too. They're pretty hot. Killed us at Lambeau 2 weeks ago. They killed Jacksonville a week ago, Christmas Eve. They're playing good. Saints are they're not it. I'm sorry, bud. My team's not much better,
Yeah,
but
we
a
both
little
suck.
better.
I don't know. Both suck.
But yeah, I'm going with the Bucs at home to win the division.
I'm switching my pick to the Saints. At least if we lose,
Wow.
at least if we lose, or if we win, at least I have something to look forward to. If we lose, it's who cares? I'm just gonna go Saints here. Hopefully we pull something out. I don't need whatever. Saints just look all right. Anyways, next game you got the Commanders taking on the 49ers in Washington. Commanders have just looked awful. Poor Ned. We've had him on a few times on the podcast.
Sam Harrell benched.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. Who knows? Maybe he comes out, shocks the world, but I don't think it happens. I think the 49ers win here in Washington.
Yeah. San Fran.
Not much to say there.
San Fran.
Brock Purdy.
Bounce back. I could see San Fran dropping like a 40 piece after that loss.
Yeah, they're just going to put it all on the table here. Next, you got the Steelers taking on the Seahawks.
This is an interesting game.
It is, because the Seahawks, yes, they beat the Eagles, and yes, they beat the Titans, but they're not doing it in ways that it's like, wow.
The Titans win last week. I was watching. That was not a sexy win. That was
not a sexy win. You heard it here first, guys, from Hammer.
It wasn't sexy.
And that's what you want, sexy wins from NFL teams. But
yeah. Well, I mean, this time of year, heading into the playoffs, you want to look good. That was not like a good win.
It was not. Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. I'm going to go Seahawks here, but just because the Steelers just they don't really got much going for them.
All right, let me play you through this scenario. It's Sunday. I'm sitting on the couch watching this game. Chris Boswell, kicker for the Steelers, kicks field goal. They win. Packers now control their own destiny. Like that. Destiny. Win these next two. We're in the playoffs against Minnesota and the Bears. I'm jacked up, ready to go. I'm going with the Steelers. They're going to make my wishes come true.
Underdog pick of the
Seattle.
week?
Upset of the week.
I'm going
with the Steelers. They're going to beat Seattle. Make me very happy. Packers are going to see this in the locker room, getting ready for the game, saying, hey, man, we want the playoffs. It's on us, man. We win out, we're in. We don't have to watch any other games, hope for any other teams winning or losing. It's all about us now. So I'm going with the Steelers.
All right. I support it. Gives me another game to root for against you. So next game, you got the Chargers taking on the Broncos. Not a great game. Easton Stick. But here's why it's interesting. We didn't really mention it earlier, but Russell Wilson has been benched by the Broncos in a surprising move. So
not only that, but the Chargers played good against Buffalo. They played Buffalo very tough, and Buffalo's hot.
Easton Stick. Easton Stick. Maybe he's got some. Jared Stidham. Maybe he comes out. This game's just you have no clue. No one has any clue what's going on in this game. Like, let's be honest here.
Who are you going? I might go a little upset here.
I'm going Broncos. I like Sean Payton in the coaching matchup here, and that's the reason why I'm picking him.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Look at that. We got a lot to root for this week.
I'm going with the Chargers because why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
Wait, I think that's either 4 or 5 games we're going to disagree on, depending on these next two. So maybe I get it back the whole week. 1 week I catch up to Hammer. We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see. So you're going Chargers. I'm going Broncos. I like it.
Go with the Chargers.
Next, you got the Bengals taking on the Chiefs, and the Bengals. I mean, they don't look terrible with Jake Browning, but he did not look good last game. It's like he kind of came back down to earth. And the Chiefs don't look good on offense right now. Ever since Taylor Swift has came over there and started cheering them on, it's just they've kind of steadily decrease. So I don't like what they're doing, but I'm going to go the Chiefs here in a bounce back win over the Bengals.
I'm going with the Nah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
go with
can't do
the
it.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think you're at home. The Chiefs are weird. They're really weird this year, but I always think they're gonna bounce back after a tough loss like that. So, Cincinnati's a team that's played them tough. Yeah, they don't have number 9 anymore. The defense has always played Mahomes pretty tough. It's tough. I'm gonna go with Kansas City though.
I don't mind it. I,
I
th-
think
I
they
think
bounce
Kansas
back.
City is an interesting. It is an
This
interesting
is
game,
interesting. This is
4 o'clock
good.
game, but
This is
it's
good.
definitely not. It's not what it looked for. Like when the schedule makers made this game, this was not what they were looking forward
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
All right, Hammer. I'm gonna let you kick it off. Your Sunday night football game. What are your thoughts?
Sunday night, baby. New Year's Eve. This is where I'm going to be spending my New Year's Eve. Not going out in my basement, watching the Packers. Let's go. Beat up the Minnesota Vikings. I'm pumped for this game. These are the games that you live for, honestly. I mean, you got a chance of the playoffs, man. The Green Bay wins these next two. They got a 95% chance to make it. Sunday night football, week 17, division game. I mean, this is awesome. These are the games you look forward to. I can't wait. Uh, the Vikings, TJ Hawkinson's done for the year. I think Jordan Addison's week to week. He might be out too. We don't know who the quarterback is yet. I don't know if it's Jaron Hall or Nicky Mullins or Dobbs is back. Who knows? I don't know. So who the QB yet is, I got to check that. The Jair Alexander incident happened today, which, if you don't know, last week against Carolina, he made himself a captain, went out for the coin toss, and he said, "Oh, I want a defense on the field," which isn't like a clear indication to defer, receive, or this and that. And if you don't say, I don't know the exact rule, but if you don't exactly say it, it can happen that Carolina receives the ball,
Both
start the
times.
game and after halftime. So he could have really screwed the Packers there if the ref wasn't, if the ref was a jerk. But the ref decided to be a nice guy. Christmas Eve gave Jair a break, but Green Bay suspended him. The organization suspended him for this game. Gave one game suspension due to that incident, which I feel is totally right. That's what you got to do. I don't care who it is, what type of player it is. He's an awesome player, highest paid corner in the league. We could have really used him this game, but that stuff doesn't fly, especially in a place like Green Bay. And you know, it builds it. It adds. It sends a good message to the locker room. It doesn't let that locker room get out of control or anything with all that Joe Barry talk. And Green Bay's locker room has been a little iffy all year, but I think that's a good, nail it in the butt. That's good. So I'm happy with that move. I like it. Sucks, but you got to do what you got to do. As a coach, I coach high school football. Like, it's tough when you got to do it to one of your best players. I've done it, but if he's not acting right, if he puts himself before the team, you got to sit him down. So it's the right thing to do. And it's gonna stink this weekend, but I think going forward in the future, it's gonna pay off.
Yeah,
I'm
wait, real quick. If you hear that, if anyone's watching this that gets coached by Hammer, this is your warning. Hammer just warned your ass. Sit your ass down if you're if you're talking back, not doing what
There
you're
you
told.
go,
So.
not listening, not putting the team first. But with it all being said, I gotta pick the Packers. Sunday night football. I can't wait. Sunday night football. It's a playoff game, elimination game. One of these teams loses, they're out. And hopefully Green Bay gets some help in the earlier games to make it even more fun. But I'm going with the Packers. Jordan Love these past 2 months, it seems like 2 months, really, ever since he played the Vikings the first time in week 8, week 7, I think it was. He's been playing just really, really good football. Fun to watch. Go Paco. That was a lot.
Thank
But
God, Hammer. The Packers are coming into Minneapolis, and the Purple People Eaters are not messing around. Nick Mullins, Justin Jefferson, come out, wreck what's his name? Joe Barry. Is that your defensive coordinator? What's his name?
yeah.
Joe Barry doesn't know what he's doing. Get that coach off the field, off the sideline. Justin Jefferson goes off 150 yards plus, comes out, beats the Packers in Minneapolis, gets me my 5th win necessary to catch up the Hammer, and next week's for all the marbles. Vikings win.
I hate Derek Carr. I hate the whole Saints organization so much.
good. I hate Derek Carr too, so I'm right there with you.
Wow, Jenks, thanks for that. So that's gonna do it for a week 17 picks. No one's on a bye. Big week for MVP candidates and playoff implications and this and that. Oh, I'm just flexing my new Apple Watch. Sorry about that.
That's what the Hammer got for his birthday, everyone.
Yeah.
Hammer's birthday, 26,
Pretty-
everyone. So
It's so techie. It's not me. I don't know. None of my buddies have Apple Watches, so weird. But
all right, calm down.
all right, so we're gonna talk about our fantasy championship. Talk about two teams that are in the championships next. What do you call it?
All right, Hammer. We're,
Discuss
the train wheels are coming off the tracks in the end of this segment. So in the next segment, we're breaking down the fantasy recap of the week for our subscriber league. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, doing a quick recap of our fantasy subscriber league. It's been a great year. Just want to say that real quick. We're finally into the championship game. I'm happy we got this going. I'm glad we met all of you guys. So this past week, Just Joshing took on Gloves Didn't Fit, and he took down the champion, who was 11-3 going in through the season. And Forrest and Just Joshing beat him by 4 points. So big win for him. Then we had the 7 seed taking on the 6 seed with Breida Broncos and Rude taking on the Kirkred Cardinals with Paul. And Rude won by 5 points. So the championship game is between Rude with the Breida Broncos and Forrest with Just Joshing. The 4 taking on the 7 seed. Big game. Whoever wins does get a jersey from us. So make sure whoever wins to reach out. And hopefully we'll have a few of you guys on the podcast. Comment down below. Reach out if you want to come on the pod. We'd love to have some of you guys on, talk with you guys about the year, your teams, everything like that. So it's been a great year. Good luck to everyone in the championship game. I think Hammer and I are playing for 5th and 9th, something like that, which isn't great. But yeah, it's been a great year. Hammer, any closing takes for the season?
I'm playing for 7th. All right, not 9th.
7th, sorry.
I was the 3 seed, and I just
Slipped
away. Tough. No, yeah, it was fun. I can't wait to do it next year. And next year too, we're gonna do fantasy league. Hopefully, we can do maybe multiple of them with all of you guys. And we're gonna do the ESPN Pigskin Pick'em League. We're gonna invite you guys all to that, so you guys can try to, beat us in picks, and you can see where we're at. We can see where you guys are at, and make these videos a little bit more fun, interesting for you guys as well.
Yeah. So real quick, just to say this, thanks Hammer for Amari Cooper. He scored 50 points last week. I think we had that trade, and I think Amari Cooper has scored more points than every single person that you traded for that I gave away. So,
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, man, winter soldier. I'm happy for it.
I would have still been playing if I had him. Bad trade, bad GM move by me. But my bad for not counting on a Cleveland Brown. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Whatever. All right, Jenks. Well, closing thoughts. I mean, we got 2 more weeks of regular season, then we got playoffs, but closing thoughts before week 17.
Honestly, like the Saints do still have a shot. Like it would be nice if we win and we have a shot at the playoffs, but at the same time,
If you win out, do you win the division?
we need to win that. We need the Buccaneers to lose against the Panthers. So it's rough, but who knows? Maybe the Panthers just come out with like spoiler on their mind and try to beat them. But it's not a high percentage, but it's possible. So that's all I gotta say. Saints, if we lose this week, do what's right. Fire Derek, or not Derek Carr, Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. Just get them out.
Yeah, but they're gonna wait another week before that happens.
Either way, get them out. I don't care. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say that no matter what happens, I hope we make the playoffs. It's more fun, another game day, good experience for a young team. But regardless of what happens this year, for us Packer fans, was about finding out if Jordan Love's the guy. And I think we found that. And I think us Packer fans have to be pretty excited what these next couple of years, have in store for us, because I think the kid's got it, and excited to see him grow with this young team, young weapons. But they're in it. Hopefully they get this big win against Minnesota, get some help along the way, and then that week 18 Green Bay Bears game is flex a Sunday night. Win and you're in Green Bay, something like that would be fun. But hopefully we're still in it. So come back next week talking to you guys, win and we in. So it's exciting.
Hammer will have flashbacks to last year if that happens.
Yeah. But we're playing the Bears, not the Lions. A little different.
Who knows? The Bears are kind of having a similar season to the Lions last year. They're playing a little bit better.
Yeah,
the
we'll see.
start.
We'll see if history repeats itself. All I know is we don't got 12 anymore. We got 10. So never know. We'll see. Ooh, number 10.
All right, do the outro. Let's get out of here.
All right, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks Hammer Podcast. If you watch on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Have a happy New Year. Hopefully your team wins, keeps fighting that for that playoff spot, unless you're a Seahawks, Vikings, or Rams fan. Go Pack Go.
Fire Pete. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go.